Hello random person, Sab Nino here, and welcome to the first episode of Sab Talk. We're trying to make this a weekly thing. It's basically just where I just give you the tea, just give you the news, and just tell you what's going on with the current SabNino projects. Mainly the animated ones. The big animated ones. Okay, let's get into them. First off, I'd like to say how the beginning of this decade started off with a lot of projects going in and out in terms of what I'm gonna be making next. I started off with saying Another Random Day episode 5 was gonna be next. For right now, it's put on hold. Like, we started on it for a little bit. It's been scripted. It's been partially boarded. I've revisioned a lot of the rough drafts. Ava, or Cavity Savvy returned. We got some new blood as well, such as Scuff. You've been seeing him a lot in my comments section. We met in college. He's a great guy. Phenomenal with perspective. But for right now, we've decided to take a break. The original plan was, like, we thought we got some animators on board, but they haven't really been in touch. And my thought process is, if I'm gonna animate something on my own, I'd want to make something new. I want to take a little break from ARD and just, you know, make something different. Make something original for once, expand on some ideas I have never expanded upon before. So, for a while, I did. I started working on the Cringe Binge Chronicles, which is a collaboration with my good college friend, Hallie, and you know, we have a script for it. We probably have finalized the character designs, the art direction we want to go for, the voice cast. We still need to finalize the script, probably. And for a while, we thought that was going to be the next project. But Hallie told me that she needed a break. You know, we'll just work on it when we're ready. So for right now, we're putting down hiatus. And, okay. I am happy to announce that we're finally working on Sauce, or Savior of the Spirits. I'm having my good friend Jeremy help finalize the script. The pilot goes well. For right now, for the pilot, we decided not to animate it, but instead have it a rough storyboard. And basically, why we're doing that is so, I know a lot of people on my Discord server and people outside of my Discord server, like my friends have been looking forward to this for a good while. And I want to get something out. Like, we're not going to rush the boards, we're going to make sure they look good, they look clean. We're kind of using this pilot as like a beta test as like an outline for once we get into a bigger story. So yeah, SOTS is currently the big project. I need more animators. It's a little hard to get them, so me and my good buddies are trying to like, I'm trying to find some sources for animation to get more animators and hopefully make productions of these big cartoons faster. Because if you've noticed with Another Random Day, since the production value keeps getting higher and higher, episodes dates keep getting longer. The pilot was like 6 months, episode 3 was like 14, and with the current episode 4, I thought it was going to be shorter, but apparently it was actually longer, because with the script, you know, I thought it was just going to be mundane, you know, not a lot of characters to animate. Characters we do have are a lot easier to animate than some of the others. Half of it's CG, but for whatever reason, I just like to push myself and just make cartoons the best they can be. So I try doing stuff like, oh, what if there's shading on the beach? Oh, what if we like animate some extras, maybe have some more voice talent on board, get Pie Guy Rules on the phone. Oh, Coco's a popular person on Twitter. We're good friends. Why not have her on board? And just say, hey look guys, I found a thing. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot of anime when it's only one person. So that's why, for right now, we're trying to get some more talent on board. So if you're interested, just give me a demo reel, a resume, or something like that. Okay, enough about that. Time for some other projects that I've been either not done or just in the pre-production phase, just future ideas that we're working on. One of them is a short called You Got Game. It's basically about just these two guys just talking. It's CG, and there's no script. This one's gonna be completely improv. I don't have a lot to say about this. Enough about You Got Game. We have another project, which is actually a spin-off short of Another Random Day. And I'm looking forward to this because, you know, it does take place in the same universe as Another Random Day, but we're trying to, you know, give it a different feeling, a different set of characters, and just a new setting, new plot. It's a lot of fun. It's basically about, one of the extras, the working name for her is, Lilith. That's subject to change. But, what this is, the story is you know, she's nerdy, she's, has good grades, she doesn't like sports. One day she goes to educational jail and is you know, to get her report card, and it looks good until she realizes she is failing PE. Most of the story is centered around the dodgeball element. They're still working out a lot of the story kink, but I'm going to assume a lot of the original crew will be on board. We might try a new animation style. I got Eevee Synth, which is a thing where if you paint certain frames, you could make it, you know, give it some shading. I did a few tests, but I'm still working out some kinks. And of course, there's a lot of the bonus stuff, you know, the Another Random Shorts, the Q&As, and that's pretty much it. Which project are you looking forward to the most? Are you excited about them? Is there any you would tweak? Any of them, intrigue you or any way? Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to subscribe, comment, you know, check out my Redbubble store. And with all that said, hopefully the next video is next week. And it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. How are you doing? Read any good books lately? Of course you haven't, it's the 21st century, nobody reads books. Okay, this segue thing isn't working. Let's just do this. As the time of me recording this, I don't know if this is out yet, but hopefully in a few days, we will get the Ask Ender and Jasmine Q&A out. We are currently recording it. We have plans for recording it and making it the best it can be. We're also going over the questions as well and stuff like that. Though we have to hurry though, because I have a lot of plans on Saturday, because I have a hot date with the SpongeBob musical. But enough about my weird fantasies about going to a stage. In my last Sab Talk, I said how we need more animators because my ambitions are too high, and due to that, animation keeps getting longer and longer. So, I'm here to talk to you now about how that works. First off, I meet people at a school, sometimes outside of a school. And I'm like, hey, wanna join this thing? They join the thing. For the most part, we talk through text. Some of my friends, we try to arrange things. Like, for example, me and Jeremy, often, since we're, like, really good neighbors, we often hang out and brainstorm ideas for like, a lot of scripts, like A or D. He's helping me with SOTs, hint, and stuff like that. And some of my VAs, my voice actors, actresses, non-binary, are, come over to our studio, and we record stuff. As if you've seen the irritating behind the scenes, that's pretty accurate to what we do. It's an insane mess, but we love it. There's that. A lot of the storyboard production is outsourced. Nowadays, the writing is pretty minimal. We usually have like 1 or 2 people. One of our writers, Hayden, who voices Britt, he helps out with a lot of the A&D scripts. Then after we think we finalize the script, we hand it to proofreaders. Then we storyboard, and then we animate. And the animation is the hardest part. The second hardest part is the voice acting. But I won't go into that. Okay, now that we have that settled, I want to share a little bit about our current project, Savior of the Spirits, SOTs for short. It's basically, the premise I've been pitching is how, it features Rosie, who's kind of a sarcastic bitch. She works in a cafe, and she lives in 2 worlds, a spirit world and a human world. Since they're 2 different worlds, and Rosie is half spirit, her appearance changes depending on the world that she's in. In the human world, she's like regular, but in like the spirit world, she's like this weird dog-wolf thing. I don't even know what it is. And she has a significant other named Willia. She's a wisp, and she's often the voice of reason to Rosie's decisions, and she's also the one who can take Rosie to both of these worlds interchangeably. For this pilot, we decided to give Rosie an origin story. We're not gonna go into much detail on that, we want to surprise you. But technically, we have this villain, Erica. And she's a spider lady who feasts on negative energy. And since Rosie is kind of a moody bitch, and isn't, like, happy with her current life situation, Erica feels that. Erica feels how she feels, and she wants more. So she, somehow gets up to the spirit world, the human world, not the spirit world, the human world, where Rosie works, at her cafe, and tries her best to piss her off and steal her necklace. That's all I have for the script. We're still working on it. We still need to proofread it and finish it, add some minor tweaks. And hopefully if that goes well, we can give it to you guys. If we don't ramble about how Beavis and Butthead Do America is the best anime of all time.
It's time for Epic Page 29.
Reviews and recalls.
Hey guys, this is Epic Pink 29. You may not know me, cause, well, I'm pink, and I'm epic. I'm one of the coolest guys around, ladies and gentlemen. I'm one of the coolest pink guys. But anyway, I'm here to deliver you the news. Did you know the stuff's happening around here? Don't even doubt it, brother. Anyway, let's get into it. In today's news, Sab Nino, my number 1 guy. He's the brother, man. He's starting this new thing called Sorts. I don't know what Sorts is, but it's pretty damn epic, man. In Sorts, he's talking about, Savior of the Spirits, man. And there's this characters. It's pretty epic, man. I give that an epic star rating of like 5, man. Yeah, the 5 stars. It's epic. And also in today's news, also from Sab Nino, I call it, oh yes, it's called a short. I don't know what the short is, but he's got this short, and in the short, apparently some gal plays dodgeball, and that's pretty epic, man. Out of this 5-star rating, I give it like maybe 4.9 stars. It's pretty epic, man. Anyway, let's rap, people. Let's do the epic thing. Let's do the epic dance. Ready? The epic dance. You just. So, but besides the dance, today we have made a huge breakthrough. We have discovered that the scripts are being written. That's pretty epic. 5 stars, and we're trying to improve our cast and crew. That's pretty epic. 5 stars, and we're also trying to all this stuff. 5 stars. To wrap up today's news segment, I'm gonna try playing this guitar. Try playing this guy. Windows. There's no guitar. Never mind. I can't play a guitar. That's too bad. Anyway, I love each and every one of you epic folks. I look forward to seeing you later, and I'm gonna go to a bar and go get a car and see the stars, man. All right, epic pig out.
Play the music.
So, is this information interesting? Do you like the Sab Talk? How do you feel about Epic Pink invading my show? Why? Stop doing that, Epic Pink. And if you like this, leave your thoughts in the comments. What are you looking forward to? Does this sound interesting? Do you want to be an animator? Please be an animator. We're begging you. We'll pay an exposure and a peanut butter cookie. And with that said, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Yeah, this is another Sab Talk. Me and one of my editors are kind of on and off on whether we want to make this a weekly thing. You know, I think having something weekly can help out the channel a lot, even if it's kind of getting a slowly growing audience. Sometimes we don't have a lot of news. For a while I was kind of debating on wherever to do it this week, since for a good while the news has been kind of slow, but I think I have some that I'd like to share, and then, we'll just go from there. Okay, enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get started. The first news that I want to share is SOTs. Not much has really changed since the last time. The script situation is kind of all over the place right now. I might be giving Jeremy a little break, and I might have a little break from it, but we're not getting put on hiatus. Right now I'm trying to find some more people to help make the script the best it can be. Since for SOTs, I don't want to just throw something out there. I want to try to raise the bar for this script to give a strong first impression. But if you guys want to check out the script, just give me an email, or just comment on here or the community tab. I have a post there, and I could send the script to you, and you can just give me feedback. Another thing I wanted to share is remember that short I've been talking about in Sab Talk 1 called You Got Game? Well, I'm technically finished with the 3D models, and I recorded the audio. I did all the background music myself. It's trippy as hell. Whoa, hey there, this is Sab from the future. I've just come here to just interrupt because I'm skipping this, mostly because You Got Game's already out. When I recorded this, I didn't know if it was gonna be out, but somehow I managed to get it done in the span of 3 days. It's up, it is ready for your viewing pleasure. Please go check it out and enjoy the rest of the Sab Talk. The last bit of news that I want to share is the Another Random Day short, the spin-off short that focuses on Lilith, working title. Right now, we finally came up with a title for this. We don't know if it's finalized, but it's called Untouchable because dodgeball. Right now, I'm trying to do some like concept art for it a lot more. Right now, it's kind of a basic sketch, but it could be finished by the time this video is made. I don't know. For a class that I'm taking right now, I actually use that as an opportunity to do a little animation test on the particular character. It's a run cycle. Also, I'm writing the script. I'm kind of almost writing the character as I go along. Kind of figuring out how does she react to certain situations? What are some little quirks? Like, does she have an inhaler? Does she drink energy drinks? What are some weird hobbies she has? What is her family situation like? Stuff like that. I don't really know when that short's gonna be made. I'll keep you guys updated on that. The third reminder of this series. We need more animators. Please send a demo reel in email or something. We could get you squared away on something. Squared away. Also, if you want to be a storyboard artist, that's not necessarily the main priority right now, but if you want a storyboard, please just give us a holler. Since SOTS is primarily a storyboard thing, we could have you on board for that. So, what do you think of Sab Talk and all the many news updates of my projects and stuff? And with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to another Sab Talk. We've all noticed a baby trend, right? Baby Yoda, Baby Sonic, Baby SpongeBob, Baby Nut even. Everyone's becoming baby now. So if I didn't join the trend, I'd be forgotten about. Because following trends determine your popularity. So that's what I did. Introducing Another Random Babies, where the characters are younger and cuter. All of them are reduced to one-note traits, so they can be easier to recognize and be insanely marketable. Also, since most parents complain about the original ARD not being for kids, this will be 100% child-friendly with zero risks taken. Everything is safe and clean, so parents can let their kids watch it unsupervised. Nothing's been worked on outside of the pilot title, Happy Happy Play Place Yay, but we did do a vocal test for a general idea of how the characters would sound like.
Hello, random person, Sab Nino here, and it's time to go to our secret play place. Yay! Hey, Sab, I'm a 90s kid! Yay! What are we gonna do today, Sab? I don't know.
And if this wasn't enough, we also have Gummy and Marshy Babies, which will be an educational show teaching kids about letters and numbers, and how candies are atop of the food pyramid. But what about the adults? You don't want any of this baby stuff. Don't worry, we have something just for you. Remember Another Random Day, episode 3? Wasn't the animation and action in it decent? Have you ever thought, what if it was live action? You haven't? Well, screw you! We know more about you than even you do! We've read your hidden smut folder. But yeah, Creepy Psycho will be getting a live-action remake, with 30% of the original cast returning. I'll be returning to reprise my role for Sab. I'll be on my knees the whole time so I could capture his small features. Aiden will reprise her recent role as Ender, with special effects ripped straight from the episode. When pitching her the idea, she even stated, well, that's gonna be an interesting cosplay, which we'll assume is a good thing. Jeremy will play Michael since he offered. Nameless will be CGI, and will have the same voice lines as the original. Budget cuts. And we have no idea who will play the rest. We considered August to reprise her recent role for Jasmine, but she's no longer in our studio, and is doing recordings from a distance, so sadly we can't really have her on board. We'll be changing a lot of things as well. Like instead of Sab being beat up, it's a Mortal Kombat-like battle while Caden and Brandon bet on who will win. This will be so much fun because it's super realistic and can even rival the amazing effects in Kung Pao. And we're not just settling on the video industry, no, we're providing in the music biz as well. Starting with our most ambitious one, the Gami and Marshy Christmas album, with all your favorite Christmas tunes, covered in Gami and Marshy's most iconic and understandable language. Get ready for such iconic tunes such as All I Want for Christmas is Yum Yums, Crunchy Bells, Gooey Bells, Last Christmas I Gave You a Hershey Kiss, I'm Dreaming of a Minty Christmas, and many, many more. Oh, and Savior of the Spirits is a girl band now, even though that's not out yet. That's right. Rosie, Amelia, and Josephine are now an 80s style pop band. Can they sing? I don't know, they're still being casted, but it's gonna be good, I promise. Lastly, we have some phenomenal news. Jasmine Moonbeam from Another Random Day has been listed as #1 on the top 10 waifu list, according to Pringo TV, a very reliable source. So in celebration of such a wonderful, fantastic honor, I am happy to announce that there will be a 50-page illustrated Jasmine erotic. It's all Sab from here, and see you in the next Sab Talk. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the 5th installment of Sab Talk, and let's get right into the news. First off, SOTs. You've heard a lot about SOTs on this channel. We have 2 script revisionists, and we're still on that process. Apparently Jeremy has been doing research on like how to make it a lot more cinematic, and Jordan's been helping me with pacing issues with the script. For right now, I'm trying to figure out how to fuse them. What I'm hoping to do is once both of their revisions are done, I could just mash them together. Also, some other news. I'm trying to finish Ask Jasmine and Ender. Another thing I've been trying to do is brainstorming ways to flesh out Ya Got Game and Gami and Marshy. Gami and Marshy mostly on a visual standpoint. I think it needs kind of a visual upgrade. We have a sequel idea that the VA for Gami pitched. I also have a Christmas special idea, but we'll keep you posted on that. With Ya Got Game, I'm just personally brainstorming on like how we can flesh that out. Nothing too lore heavy or anything, but like it seems like you guys really like the first one. I've been getting a lot of good feedback. It seems like a lot of you like the palette and how weird it was. You know, when I was animating and recording it, you know, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I wouldn't mind bringing these guys back, despite the fact that like they don't have any names yet. Feel free to leave names in the comments. And that's it. It's a pretty slow news day. Also, nothing in the last Sab Talk is real. That was April Fool's. Just leave your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you around, and it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here, and welcome to the 6th episode of Sab Talk, or in this case, Sponge Talk. The main reason why I'm doing this is for 2 reasons. The first reason is that I don't really have a lot of news this week regarding my original content and the progress on those. And second, I thought this could be a good way to introduce some of my new peeps into this weekly series. So I thought, you know, what better way than doing a whole SpongeBob theme around it? Because a lot of you guys know me through SpongeBob. This episode is basically just me telling you guys ideas I have for upcoming SpongeBob videos. Some might come to fruition, some might not. Anyway, let's get into this. The thing that I'm sure will excite everybody, every time I look in the comment section, people keep requesting me stuff like, oh, do the German opening, do the Christmas opening, do a Hot Wheels opening. And even though those wouldn't be that hard to make, I just need to change some text and stuff, I've decided to go a little above and beyond and do the pilot opening entirely in CGI. It's technically halfway done right now, but anyway, here's some more news. I've been wanting to make some sort of Sponge on the Run / Camp Coral video, though I'm kind of trying to figure out, like, how. My first idea was just making a trailer, critique, analyzation thing, maybe explaining some animation stuff, what I generally thought of it. My other idea is, like, just making a Camp Coral video in general, kind of doing, like, you know, an all we know of that so far. There's a lot of information surrounding that, a lot of leaks. Lately, a lot of books have been, like, leaked. Well, not leaked, they've been, like, released, but they leaked the plot of the movie and Camp Coral. Specifically Camp Coral, that seems to be their marketing standpoint. If you guys have any ideas on some sort of Sponge on the Run or Camp Coral analysis before the film comes out, I don't know, maybe a visual analysis of all 3 movies so far, you know, just comment below. The other thing that I want to bring up is I've been thinking about doing some sort of Mr. Krabs meme video. You guys could, like, give me stuff to say in a stupid Mr. Krabs voice, or I could just read a bunch of copy pastas and memes, maybe some vines, maybe Mr. Krabs reciting Kids Bop Karen. I don't know. If you have any meme suggestions for, like, dubbing and stuff, I might do it. And the last thing I want to bring up, an unofficial SpongeBob and Another Random Day crossover. Please stick around for this. I'll do my best to explain what Another Random Day is to those who haven't watched it yet. Another Random Day is, like, this cartoon that I've been working on for, like, I think since 2015. I know a lot of people who are new to the channel described a lot of my older animations as, like, 90s, and I'm flattered by that, but sadly that's not the case. Episode 2, I was just trying to figure out how to do aspect ratios and stuff like that. If you want to watch it, here's a card, and there will be a link at the end of the video. As, like, a way to try to introduce some new fans into this series, I thought, why not use this as an opportunity to mesh my fan base? You know, having SpongeBob meet the main character, Sab. SpongeBob will be all CGI because, well, I already have the rig. Sab will be rigged animation, so it's like a blend of 2D and 3D going on here. Would you guys want to see a SpongeBob and SabNino crossover? I have a script written. I have things recorded. Or if you, like, want to help in any way, like storyboarding and stuff, if you're, like, really good at, like, attention to detail and, like, the SpongeBob universe. I know Absorbency knows a lot about the show in and out. He even did a few custom title cards. So, Absorbency, if you're watching this, I might give you an opportunity. I don't know what it is yet, but yeah. Okay, that's all I have for this. What are you the most excited for? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure I know what it is. It's gonna be the pilot. There's gonna be an overwhelming amount of pilot. If there's any other things you're looking forward to, like the Sab SpongeBob crossover, or like a Camp Coral analysis, Sponge on the Run analysis, just comment below. And it's all Sponge from here. Big announcement at the very end. Stick around. Hello random person, Sab Nino here, and welcome to the 7th episode of Sponge Talk. I mean, Sab Talk. This week is pretty much back to normal. Okay, first thing, Suts. The script is pretty much done, and we're focusing on casting. We have a few contenders for who would voice the characters in the script. If you're interested, hit me up and send me like a demo reel of what you voiced and stuff. And that's all I have on that. I haven't really been working on the Untouchable script. You Got Game is just kind of on and off in terms of a continuation on that. We've been mostly brainstorming on what their lower halves would look like. Ask Jasmine and Ender is 50% complete. And lastly, we're thinking about changing Another Random Day episode 5. Like, not completely scrapping the original story, but just put it a little later. Let me explain. Due to quarantine and COVID-19, keeping in touch with people has been a little hard. You know, people are still trying to figure out their situation and stuff. And then I remembered there's this one Another Random Day script that we were in the brainstorming process for. We originally planned it for like later on, and I'll explain a little bit why. There's no real title for it yet, but it's basically about Sab staying at home on a rainy day. He's trying to make plans, but nobody's answering his phone. Eventually, he just kind of goes into like the spiraling depression. The plans is to kind of make it a lot more of a deeper episode. One of the main things I've been wanting to do for Another Random Day for a good while, and there was a little bit of this in the original episode 5, is to try to give a lot more of an emotional connection with the audience. You know, due to the whole COVID-19 and the lack of resources at the moment, and considering I voice Sab, you know, I thought it could be a good story to tell. And that's about it. Okay, big announcement. At the time of me recording this just happened today. Apparently someone, who's a regular viewer, SpongeBob Master, actually started a Sab Nino wiki. And for right now, it's pretty bare bones. It's mostly just me and them working on it. Having a wiki page would be pretty cool. So I thought I'd just put this little thing at the end if you want to contribute to it. You know, if you want to like write some stuff, analyze some things, if you want to make it look nice, or like provide images of like episodes or something, just sign up. I'll provide a link in the description. And thank you, SpongeBob Master, for contributing to it and for making it. It's honestly really cool. With all that said, wash your hands, watch cartoons, and stay indoors. It's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the 8th installment of Sab Talk. So let's just get into the news! Sucks! We're working on casting. The script is done. And even though the casting isn't 100% finished, we at least have some voices for the main leads. Hayden Erickson, who is currently voicing Britt, took on the role for Rosie, since he does know how to do sort of a basic bitch voice.
Patron of the spirit world, an often forgotten mascot of the stars.
And the thing I'm most excited about, Coco, or Lemon Kyun, took up the role as Willia.
There are two realms that parallel the existence of feeling and thought. It means you can travel to other worlds.
Another Random Day, episode 5, I guess? The script's halfway done. I'm not writing this. Most of my contributions are just offering to help since I voice Sab, and providing this piece of concept art on what Sab's house would look like on a rainy day. And the working title for this episode is Indoors. Insert SpongeBob joke here.
I know of a place where you never get harmed.
And the last thing I want to bring up, even though this isn't animated, it is related to animation. Me and Jeremy are currently in the works on an Another Random Day documentary, and the working title for it is Another Random Behind the Scenes, The Making of Another Random Day, and it will conclude quite a bit of the voice cast. We have Cavity Savity, who is one of our most loyal storyboard artists. We have Trevor, who helped out with music, and we even got the original voice for Caden, or the current voice of the teacher, to help out and give a little bit of what his experience was like working on the early stages of Another Random Day. Honestly, I'm really excited for this. Like, this will be the 1,000 subscriber special, since we're kind of late on that. Not to mention, I've always wanted to do another random behind the scenes. I hope you guys are excited for it, because I am. Which one of these projects are you looking forward to the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments, get a discussion going. Do you have any ideas? And with all that said, stay indoors, keep a distance from people during these trying times. And it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here, and welcome to the special 3D edition of Sab Talk. Okay, fine, it's a regular episode. You'd think this would be the part where I talk about thoughts. That's not the case this time. For once, I'm actually talking about something that I haven't brought up since part 1 of this weekly series. That being the Cringe Binge Chronicles. Yeah, it turns out I was showing the co-creator Hallie some concept art, like background designs or promotional images, stuff like that. And one of the ideas Hallie actually pitched was where each episode of the Cringe Binge Chronicles has different characters in different outfits. And originally we were just going to do that for the main lead, Cringy, but then Hallie suggested, okay, how about we do it with Laurel too? Or what if we had Dabby have a different shirt each episode, maybe with different brand logos or something? The script is pretty much done. At the time of me recording this, we're kind of back and forth between two gags. For the beginning, I'm not going to reveal what those are. We're probably just going to do the voice acting once I'm back from my spring break. So yeah, I'm really excited to get back on this project after a long hiatus, and I can't wait to share it with you guys, even if YouTube demonetizes it. Also, here's a segment I've decided to add. Bonus thing news. Okay, now thoughts. We're trying to get runaway artists on board as an artist. For thoughts, like concept artists, maybe a storyboard artist. For your gut game, I try to come up with a lower half of the characters. Honestly, I'm not that proud of the results. I'll keep you guys updated on if that changes. I am redesigning Sab's Hangout since in episode 4, Nameless shot it due to cockroaches. So I took it as an opportunity to apply the feedback I've got from the Hangout and actually use them. And finally, I've been working on some rigs for another random day. Not only for the main characters, but a lot of the background ones as well, especially the background ones. So the mindset I kind of have is, maybe if I have rigs of some of these extras, I could just copy and paste them in scenes, and therefore I could just spend most of my time on the focus, opposed to putting so much detail onto the background. Well, hopefully this episode spices things up. Sorry I lied about the 3D gimmick. Special thanks to SpongeBob Master, creator of Sab Nino Wiki, for giving me some cool 3D stills. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Goodbye. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the 10th episode of Sab Talk. I can't believe we've made it this far. Before we begin, I'd like to apologize for the hiatus, and I'm hoping that Sab Movie Night kept you company while I was gone, taking a little mental break. But you guys don't care, so let's just get into this. Okay, the first thing I want to bring up is Another Random Day episode 5, Indoors.
Existence is pain.
Since the last time I talked about it, we made quite a bit of progress on that. The script is fully written, it's 95% complete with voice acting, and we got some storyboard artists and potential animators to help us with the project. Right now we're in the storyboard phase. So far only one scene has been boarded. So I think once that's taken care of, we should be going straight into the animation process. This is a shorter episode, so luckily we don't need a ton of artists or anything. We mostly just need a few for specific scenes. And second, the Cringe Binge Chronicles. We're slowly but surely getting pretty dang close to production. Everything's fully voice acted now. So now we actually have stuff to animate. Due to that, I've started a little bit of the animation as well. So which project are you looking forward to the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Also, I wanted to thank you guys for being patient. Unfortunately, due to COVID, I wasn't in my best mental state at the time, and I was dealing with a lot of anxiety. And that was the main reason why I had to postpone Sab Talk for a while, because I didn't want any of that to affect my work and my relationship with my team. So, I wanted to thank you guys for being open-minded for the last few weeks. And with all of that said, it's all Sab from here.
Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the 11th episode of Sab Talk. Today's episode is going to be very different because I don't have a lot of news this week. So what I did to fill out the runtime is to have you guys pitch ideas, whether it be from another random day or any other video, and I just ramble and pitch how I do it. So I'll take care of those once I get to the news, which won't be that long. With Another Random Day, episode 5 indoors, we are in the cleanup process, and storyboarding is almost done. The Cringe Binge Chronicles is still being animated, we're still animating the intro. And lastly, Sots is taking another hiatus, mostly due to lack of resources and my lack of talent. Okay, that's all the news I had this week. Now you can understand why I'm doing this segment in the first place. So let's get into it. The first one I'm gonna do is actually from Discord. This one's from Gaston A. Guzman. I'd like to see an episode where Cringe Binge clones herself. This one I find to be very interesting because Cringe Binge isn't even out yet. We're still animating the pilot. So I'm gonna have to do some explaining. For those who haven't seen my previous Sab Talks, the Cringe Binge Chronicles is basically about Cringy, who's like, she's rebellious, she's out there, you never know what to expect with her. There's Laurel, who serves as the voice of reason, who is also Cringy's roommate. There's Dabby, who is a stoner alien. But anyway, this is pretty much what I do if I were to write a Cringe Binge cloning episode. I'd probably start it with either Cringy or Laurel trying to take on multiple things at once, you know, the typical cliche of wanting to do multiple things and not being able to do them because they're one person. And then Dabby would introduce some sort of alien tech that he used back on his own planet that lets people clone. He uses it to clone Cringy. It starts off great, just a bunch of Cringy clones, just doing a bunch of tasks. What would happen to kind of like spice it up is that maybe they just end up getting roped into some sort of drama, like maybe they said something to like one of Cringy's friends, or like maybe one of them just stole a bunch of money. And that's where I don't know, Laurel just steps in being like, okay, we need to get rid of these clones. They all get in her car, they try chasing them down, and I don't know. It ends with a gag. That's basically how I do that story, or something along those lines. If I'm being completely honest, unless the co-creator thinks it's a good idea, I probably won't go with this story, mostly because I think it's more of an Another Random Day plot, considering Sab has the gadgets and stuff. It still sounds like an interesting premise. Absorbency says, Sab takes down a terrorist. Okay, here's what I do for this one. I wouldn't make it an episode. I'd make it a game ripping off SpongeBob Kills Terrorists. Bam. Solved. Just replace the SpongeBob sprite with Sab, and there you go. I did that mostly because I can't think of an episode where Sab kills a terrorist, nor do I want to, so Absorbency, I hope you get your money's worth. Giraffe King says, do a SpongeBob intro, but Patrick. There's two ways I execute this. One, do the one they did in Truth or Square, same audio and everything. However, another thing I do is, I believe this happened in Mexico, but there was a Spanish bumper of SpongeBob, which I'm assuming is advertising Big Pink Loser, where they showcased the SpongeBob intro, but Patrick was just badly photoshopped in. My other idea was doing something along those lines, so yeah, that's what I do for that. Aaron Lovin says, ARD murder mystery. This might be a little hard to believe, but at some point in time, we did write something like that. It took place in a mansion. because at that point in production, Ender was gonna live in a mansion instead of living with Jasmine. A character gets killed or just disappears. I forgot which one it was. There weren't any suspects or anything like that. Nobody accused anyone of anything. Eventually, it led to an area with a bunch of doors in Ender's mansion, and they open one that leads to like this weird acid trip place. And then eventually that leads to the whole twist that was, oh, this was just some elaborate scheme to entertain Ender for her birthday. Something along those lines, and everyone was fine. Yeah, if I ended up going with that story, it definitely needs another draft. Me and the crew aren't against the idea of a murder mystery. As a matter of fact, one of our writers pitched an idea about the playable system 5 being destroyed, and I think one of the characters is trying to figure out culprits and make ridiculous stories on how a character would break it. I wouldn't be against an ARD murder mystery. It sounds like a lot of fun. We're just very on and off on like what story we want to go with. SpongeBob Master, creator of the SabNino wiki, says there should be an episode of ARD of the gang go on a road trip. I was trying to think of a premise with that too, because honestly, I love road trips. Like, I love road trip episodes in general. So here's how I do an ARD road trip. I'd make a destination a concert. I'd probably have Sab in the backseat. Michael would be the driver, since he's pretty much the only real character who can drive. And I would have Brandon and Ender to spice up the dynamic a little bit. It would start off pretty good. Maybe they're listening to the band on the way, and maybe Michael gets like a flat tire, so they have to like push it to a gas station or something. It probably wouldn't have that much of a plot. I would just put a bunch of forks in the road. Maybe a literal one. That would prevent them from going to the concert, and maybe there's a ticking clock of like when the concert's gonna start. Maybe there's arguments that go on between the gang. Maybe Ender's like mad at Michael, or maybe Sab just really needs to pee, and that's like preventing them from getting there faster. There's many different ways this could go out, but I think those are the characters I'd use for the story. Thank you so much for your submissions on what you do for an episode or a video. It's really fun. I wouldn't be against doing this again. If you have any other ideas, leave your thoughts in the comments. I don't know when I'm going to do this again, because I'm assuming the next Sab Talk will be back to normal. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the 12th episode of Sab Talk. Before we begin, I want to bring up some very important news. Since most of my cartoons are in the animation process, it's very hard continuing the news section without repeating the same stuff over and over. So what I've decided to do is do a Q&A every episode. So if you have a question for a future Sab Talk, please comment below and I'll be sure to check it out. Let's get to the very small amount of news and the very small Q&A. The Cringe Binge Chronicles is still being animated. It is going very fast, and we already finished the intro, so yay. Another Random Day, episode 5 indoors, is still under cleanup, so that might take a little longer because I am the only cleanup artist. Okay, time for the Q&A portion. Aaron Levin says, what's your favorite thing about working on each of your projects? ARD, Sab Talk, Cringe Binge, SpongeBob stuff, etc. This might sound very shallow, but my favorite part is probably just getting it done. I love animation, and I love making videos for this channel, but it is a very long and tedious process, especially when I have to juggle it with my college stuff. Though I guess my favorite part of the process, probably just creating the idea. Coming up with stories, concept art, how the characters will look, how they'll express. Drew Arnett says, what other shows do you like besides SpongeBob? It's hard picking a favorite show, cartoon in general. It always changes. It always alternates. But for whatever reason, SpongeBob's just the one I keep going back to. But I used to be a very regular viewer of Steven Universe. Unfortunately, that ended though. Gravity Falls was good. Rick and Morty is still fun and creative. I've been watching a lot of Netflix stuff.
Like there was green eggs and ham. I forgot the name of it. Rika Yakima. It's about like this small bear. But yeah, that's like a stop motion anime, and it's great. I'm very late on the Powerpuff Girls bandwagon. I wish I grew up with it because it's really good. It's a really fun and entertaining and action-packed show. Just skip the reboot. If any of you guys watching this has any other questions, comment below. I'll check them out, and if I don't have any amusing news, those will be replaced with a Q&A. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk episode 13. For this week, I don't really have that much important news, and the news I have right now isn't exactly finalized, so this episode is primarily question focused. So let's get into it. Jay Owen says, when is the next Sab fanart video? Yes. Amaze Games OF says, what are the most essential factors to consider when making a pilot for a cartoon show? Even though this isn't ideal, don't expect the pilot to reflect the rest of the series. It is your starting point. You're still trying to experiment what works, what doesn't, and how you want to portray it visually and tonally. Episode 1 of Another Random Day is very different than episode 4, for example. It had different tone, different personality portrayals, different animation. But in terms of things I think should really be in a pilot, what are the key factors in your show? What do you want people to know firsthand? Do you want it to be the story? Do you want it to be the characters? Maybe a little bit of both? What's the tone? Is it a comedy? Character driven? Is it environment driven? Try to make sure that most of the key elements of what you want the show to be are there. Alpha Beyond says, hey, do you like Pokemon? I'm gonna lose a lot of fans for this. I never got into it. I appreciate it, and I do think a lot of the designs are really cool, and I do like the concept of Pokemon. It just never interested me personally. I never grew up with it that much as a kid, so I don't really have as much of a nostalgic connection to most people. Sulfur says, what got you interested in animation? How old were you when you got interested in it? My inspiration actually came from a very bizarre place. I've always had a fascination with animation, ever since I was a baby. But the thing that got me really interested in becoming an animator is SpongeBob DVDs. Not because of the episodes themselves either, but because of the bonus features they used to have. There used to be bonus features that show a little bit of the progress of how the show got made, how the voices voice acted, how the board artists work on stuff. Sometimes they show animatics of episodes and we get to see some deleted scenes. And whenever I see like the crew on screen, it sounds like you're having a fun time, just working on the show and just getting along in the process. Amaze Games on YouTube says, favorite Steven Universe song? Since it has been revealed you are a man of culture. I've spoke to Steven Universe before on this channel, but in terms of favorite song, it's Rod Prasad says, why do you not like SpongeBob? Okay, I can kind of understand where the confusion is. If you haven't seen my last video, I had like a thumbnail of a crossed out SpongeBob with the title that says, is SpongeBob not my favorite cartoon? Here's the thing, I love SpongeBob. If it wasn't for that show and the creator, I wouldn't be where I am today. So saying that I don't like the show does a huge disservice. Nah, I just did that for clickbait, and mostly because I didn't know what to put in the thumbnail. So yeah, I enjoy SpongeBob. Before the video ends, I want to bring up a few things. Remember how in episode 11, I had you guys pitch ideas for stuff? You can still do that. You can still pitch ideas for videos and cartoons. Second, check out my Discord server. I've been needing some new members on it to talk to. You can share fan art, and we have some really cool emojis. If you want to help out with the SabNino wiki, please do so. And lastly, check out my Redbubble. I recently just put up some You Got Game merch. It's a simple print right now, but I might make more. Redbubble sells masks now. That was all I needed to say. Please ask more questions below, and it's all set from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk. I don't have any intro for this. I couldn't really think of one. So let's just get into the questions. Alpha Beyond says, hey, can you do more Undertale related videos? Alpha Beyond also says, do a Minecraft crossover episode. Me and my writing team have thought about an ARD Minecraft episode. However, we don't know if it's ever gonna happen. And even if we did, we'd try to make it a parody of Minecraft instead of just flat out Minecraft. SpongeBob Master says, do you like the Steven Universe song Stronger Than You? I do, but it's not my favorite song ever. SpongeBob Sonic 10 says, what did you think of this brand new SpongeBob game, Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated? Which collector's edition, shiny edition or fun edition? Which copy of the game that you want on your platform? By the way, I love your channel. You're way past cool like me. I love your animation, like SpongeBob intro reanimated. Keep it up, dude. Thank you for the kind words. I played a little bit of the game when it came out. I was playing with a good friend of mine. We played it on PC. It crashed on us, but eventually we got it working on Cintiq. My first impression, I think, is a pretty good remake. I think the movements are really good. Patrick's ability is much better than in the original. I love how you can do it in the air now, same with Sandy's lasso attack. The environment are top notch. However, I do feel like some animations are just non-existent, which kind of make the game feel unfinished. Also, for whatever reason, the water just looks like jizz. Especially in Goo Lagoon. The water just has this weird semen color to it. And I know it's a glitch, and we haven't figured out what it is. I'm hoping it's not on any other versions. Also, depending on the PC, it does kind of lag. But in terms of the shiny edition and fun edition, I just got the standard because I'm a broke college student and I can't afford it. If I was able to afford it, I would so buy the fun edition though. Maybe if they were like individual on eBay, I might get them. But as is, I'm just getting the Switch version. I know it's kind of the inferior version, but unfortunately, that's the only console I have. And that's all the questions I have. Thank you guys for asking questions, and if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments. I'll check them out. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And I guess this is just a shorter video. It's all set from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk. I'll just get to the Q&A stuff first, and then we'll just get into the news, because for once I actually have some. Alpha Beyond says, which do you like better, the SpongeBob theme or the SpongeBob Special Birthday Blowout theme? I don't really know how to respond to that. Both openings kind of serve their own purpose, The original opening serves of hyping you up for the show, while the Big Birthday Blowout opening works for the special. But I wouldn't want the Big Birthday Blowout theme to replace the current one. So I don't really have an answer to that, because both of them are good, but I don't really prefer one over the other. They're both good for their own context. That's the best way I could describe it. SpongeBob Master says, I don't know if you know this, but you have an IMDb page. Yeah, I was aware of the IMDb page. However, it does need to be updated though, because very recently, I've been recasted in both of my voice roles. Because originally, I was gonna voice SpongeBob in the short they were gonna do before the movie, and I originally auditioned for Mr. Krabs. But apparently the people behind the collab decided to recast me for both roles. But it's all good, because I still have a scene and I'm grateful to be in a collab as a whole. So there's no hard feelings. Oki from Discord says, How did Sab tank a coffee? Did he like it to be black, creamed color? I don't drink coffee. Okay, now that that's settled, we have some news. Well, the first news I kind of have, I don't really know if I'd really classify it as news, but one time I was staying up all night, working on some cartoons and classes and stuff, and out of nowhere I just run into a Aaron Levin stream, and Yizen was on board, and since both of them worked on episode 4 of Another Random Day, they're telling me, hey, give me a shout out on Sab Talk. We'd be happy to work on some stuff for you. So I hope you're happy.
I gave you a shout out. I don't really know what to say. Episode 5's production is very slow, mostly because I'm the only cleanup artist, but if we ever get around to that, I'll definitely give you some scenes. However, I am working on the Cringe Binge Chronicles right now, so if you guys want to help out with that, then let me know. Speaking of the Cringe Binge Chronicles, production on that is going very smoothly. I'm almost done animating the intro, and recently, one of my newest storyboard artists, Drew Arnett, has storyboarded the next scene, and I'm looking forward to animating it. There's a lot of good perspective shots and stuff. Me and the co-creator Hallie have been working on the theme song for Cringe Binge. We're currently writing the lyrics, and TMH is helping us with the instrumental. And just for the hell of it, here's a snippet of it. Okay, we're done. And that's really it. If you have any other questions or any video/cartoon ideas you want to share, leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Okay, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk. This episode is basically just another round of questions because I don't have any news this week. So let's get into it. Geeta Prasad says, can you make the coffee birthday theme? I already commented on this, but I don't know how I'd make this. How would I make a big birthday coffee theme? Do I just take the blowout theme and replace every word with coffee? Do I just have SpongeBob hold coffee? Both of those are gonna have Viacom sue my ass. I can't do it. It's too oddly specific. Thank you for the idea though. Jamison 10-0 says, not to be rude or anything, but what made you want to call your channel name Sab Nino? There's a long, complicated story to this, but I'll try to keep it brief. In the early days of YouTube, my channel used to be called SpongeBob 1491. Back then, the flexibility of usernames wasn't as big. You had to have like a specific amount of numbers and specific amount of capitals and stuff, compared to nowadays where you could just call your channel Canned Bread and have no problem. Eventually, the name situation that we have now came to be, and originally I just went with my real name for a while, but then I was just like, you know, I need a catchy name, so I just went with SabNino. As a kid, my mom used to call me Nino, but the origin of the name apparently came from when I was a baby. There's apparently this Italian woman my mom was talking to, and she called me Sebastian Nino, which stood for Little Sebastian. So I kind of went with SabNino because that stood for Little Sab, since my mascot was the tiny Sab you see in Another Random Day. Games Life says, can I redraw Sab? Redraw away. I do appreciate some good fan art, so if you want to redraw Sab, be my guest. If you have any other questions and ideas for videos, comment below, and it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to another Sab Talk. This one is going to be very interesting, mostly due to the comments themselves. A lot of you have asked very interesting questions, and I can't wait to answer them. So, why the hell are we waiting? Let's get into this. Gion's Life says, how do you put SpongeBob in your video without getting blocked by Viacom? There's a few methods of getting around Viacom that I've noticed. When you post a still image of SpongeBob SquarePants, there's usually no problem there. Footage from episodes is a little tricky, so sometimes I have to work around certain ways. Putting clips and footage into my videos have been becoming less and less now that I'm monetized. Video games I've noticed are usually fine. However, the main thing to worry about is music. Due to this, the most popular video on my channel, the SpongeBob reanimated thing, I cannot make money from at all because I use licensed music. Jamison 10-0 says,
So, your SpongeBob videos are going to attract a lot of kids. So is your channel meant for kids? Because if not, I'm still going to watch your channel if not. I'm surprised nobody asked this question beforehand. My channel is unrated, which means some of my videos are appropriate for kids, while some of them aren't. And even with that said, most of my quote-unquote kids content, I try to aim for general audiences, so adults can watch them too, and not want to blow their brains out. In terms of the SpongeBob thing, seems like that demographic is pretty split in terms of age range. I've noticed the SpongeBob enthusiasts on the channel are either kids or adult enthusiasts like myself, so I don't really have any specific demographic in mind for those. And usually if there's a video that's like really not child friendly, I'm gonna do my best to give a warning. With another Random Day episode, I tried putting a little TV-14 at the beginning to kind of indicate, hey, there's some things that might not be suitable for younger audiences. My channel is unrated, so be careful. If there's a video that you feel like needs a warning, I'll put a little thing in the title. Thank you for the question. Elijah Hernandez says, maybe you should make your channel SpongeBob again. I could do that, because if I did that, I would be filthy rich, and monetization would be through the roof. But there's a really big reason on why I'm not making my channel 100% SpongeBob related. It lacks variety. I feel like if I just post the same thing 24/7, even if it gets me a ton of views, it will get old, and people will stop being interested. Also, it's never a good idea to base your channel around one specific show, because once that show ends, your channel dies, unless you adapt and do something new with it. And even though it's hard to think about now, there will probably come a day where SpongeBob dies. It will get canceled at one point. And sure, there's spin-offs and possibly a ton of reboots in the future, but no matter how long a show lasts, eventually it will end. And personally, I don't want my channel to die when that happens, so I want to make more content related to other animated properties. I don't want to be just the SpongeBob guy. I want to be the cartoon guy. Also, I have my own stories I want to tell too. If I make my channel 100% SpongeBob, I won't be able to do those. If my channel was all SpongeBob, You Better Kiss Another Random Day, Gami and Marshy, You Got Game, all the other stuff, even Sab Talk goodbye. I'm not making my entire channel SpongeBob again. Jamison100 also says, try making a movie. That's not gonna happen for a good long while. But that doesn't mean I'm not against the idea. I've always thought about adapting my cartoons into movies. I always thought it would be fun, and the only reason why I'm not making it right now is because movies take a lot of hard work. So if I were to randomly decide, hey, I want to make another random movie, I'm gonna have to halt all other animation projects unless I have a giant team of animators. But I have brainstormed the possibility of movies based off of my cartoons. I've thought about another random movie, I thought about a Gami and Marshy movie, and for all you SpongeBob lovers out there, back in the cringy old days, I was trying to make a SpongeBob movie. So if any of you guys want me to talk about any of these ideas in a later Sab Talk, let me know in the comments. I'd love to make an entire video about this. Amaze Games Off says, if you could make a video game out of one of your series, which one? And which genre would it be? This is a general question, does not have to be in a vid or something, lol. Again, I wouldn't mind putting this in a separate Sab Talk altogether either. But I have thought about, just like with movies, adapting my cartoons into games. You know what? Screw it. I know what I'm gonna do for my next Sab Talk. I'm gonna do a thing where I talk about movie pitches and video game pitches of my cartoons. I might split it up into 2 parts, but I think it would be an interesting thing. It would add variety into my content. Thank you, Jamathan100 and Amaze Games so much for giving me this idea off the bat. And if you guys have any other questions, ideas in general, leave your thoughts in the comments. And it's all set from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to a very special episode of Sab Talk. In last week's Sab Talk, I had a very interesting question asked to me. And I thought this topic was good enough for an entire Sab Talk altogether. It adds variety to the format, and you guys get to hear some behind the scenes. A few things to clarify before I start. There's no guarantees any of these ideas will happen. And if they did happen, they'd probably be drastically changed by the point we start production, or just not happen altogether. So with all that settled, let's talk about some random movie pitches I had. For this first one, let me paint a picture for you. It was the glorious year 2014. An awkward preteen by the name of Sab Nino was making a SpongeBob web series with a bunch of weird and cringeworthy ideas. Comment below if you want a video on that. During production, he thought about a SpongeBob web movie. Now that you know the context, here's the pitch. I don't remember every single detail, and even with that said, most of the details were a convoluted mess. Here's all we know. The movie was originally just going to be called SpongeBob SquarePants. I think it was because of the naming convention of like most live-action reboots of classic cartoons like Alvin, the Chipmunks, and the Smurfs. The story, if you even want to call it that, is SpongeBob and Patrick go to the surface to gather a ring from the Flying Dutchman. I think it gathers powers or something? But in the beginning of the movie, Plankton was about to retire until he runs into Pizza Castle employee Tony, and apparently hates SpongeBob as much as Plankton does. So they team up. I don't know how this correlates with the whole Dutchman thing, but it. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was meant to be after Sponge Out of Water, which is a weird direction for the movie because Sponge Out of Water wasn't even out yet. So all I had for speculation are trailers. Visually, it was probably going to be very similar, probably a lot more stylized if it happened. And for the surface segments, just like Sponge Out of Water, it was going to be CGI. Man, the original models did not age well at all. This was my first time using Blender. What was made in 2040 looks like something you'd see in 2007. Really thinking about it, I have no idea why they're even on the surface. Plot-wise, it doesn't make any sense, other than to shoehorn a bunch of pop culture references. I think I was trying to write in a running gag where SpongeBob and Patrick sing "I'm All About That Bass" by Meghan Trainor. So yeah, that's all I remember about SpongeBob SquarePants. I am never gonna revisit this again. The next idea I had for a theatrical movie, this one is more based around my cartoons. The next pitch I have is a Gummy and Marshy movie. This pitch is very bare bones, so it's going to be very brief, but the story is where Gummy and Marshy are secret agents trying to prevent a bad guy from destroying the candy world. I'd make the movie a comedy because that's the genre I think Gummy and Marshy would fit in most. And I decided to make it a spy flick since I thought it would spice things up from the typical Gummy and Marshy formula, despite there only being one short out at the time of me making this. The next pitch I actually thought of as a joke. The Cringe Binge Chronicles, the movie. It starts off like an episode of the Cringe Binge Chronicles, except the animation is good. There's a lot of shading and compositing and stuff. Everything that makes a good movie adaptation. Think Sponge Out of Water. And the characters notice their good animation. But then, I don't know, Laurel's just like, wait, we can't afford all this. We're on a budget. So I decided to do something similar to that Gumball episode where the animation just goes from like really high-res stuff to storyboards. But they had to do the worst possible thing an adaptation could ever do. Make a live-action remake. And the rest of the movie are the characters trying to get jobs to get their budget back. The main reason why I doubt this will ever happen is because I'm not the best at live action, so unless the rating saves this, I doubt it will be a critical success. And even with that said, I don't even think this is worth a theatrical release. I have tossed the idea about this around numerous times, but I don't think I've ever talked about it in full detail. But there has been so many pitches about another random movie, even around the time of the first episode releasing. I always thought it would be a fun idea to make a theatrical adaptation of Another Random Day. But here's the plot we got to right now. Ender is captured by her father to rescue the mayor, since the city they run is under attack by a robot army led by an evil dictator. The city the mayor runs is important to Subnicon, since it is a source of energy, and Nameless is the only one who can stop the dictator. There's a lot of specific details that happen during this pitch. There is an origin story on how Nameless was made, with like a younger Sab. It's very hard explaining this without going to spoiler territory. But the goal of this movie is to try to do something that is a lot different from the main show itself, but also something that fans of the original series can appreciate. I've also been very on and off visually about the movie, because for a little bit I was like, do I just shade it? Do I make them CGI? Right now I'm thinking about this experimental animation style, where I just take the 2D designs from the show and just highly composite them with a lot of texture detail and specific brush shading. So those are my pitches for movies based off of my cartoons, outside for one. The first one was just a shitty fan fiction. If you like any of these pitches, comment below. Also, let me know which one of these pitches you'd want to see to fruition. I'd love to hear what you have to say, or if you have any other movie pitches based off of my cartoons or anything like that, comment them and I might pitch them. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk. Before we get into the questions and updates, I know how I said the video game video will be next, but apparently my ideas aren't as fleshed out as I thought they'd be. So I still need to do some brainstorming on potential video game ideas before I make them into a full-fledged video. So I'm sorry for the false advertising in a few Sab Talks ago. Now that we got the intro out of the way, let's just get started. Aria Dos Anthony says, "Are you an animation studio?" I am not. We are just a small team of creators. Gion's Life says, "How do I make a SpongeBob stop motion test without Viacom blocking me ? You thought I was gonna blurt out the all caps, didn't ya? If you're the one creating the stop motion, if you have like a little SpongeBob figurine and you're taking the pictures yourself and editing everything yourself, you should be fine. Because even though you don't own the character, you own the footage. It is something you've created. Going forward, even though I appreciate people having faith in my knowledge on the subject, please don't ask me about that sort of thing. I am not good at it, and I really don't want to spread false information. So if you have a question regarding blocking, copyright, etc., please do some research and talk to a guy who actually knows what the hell he's talking about, because I don't. Sulfur says, "Do you think you would be a good SpongeBob writer / animator? Why or why not?" In terms of writing, right now, nah. Even though I think I have good ideas for the show, I don't think my writing would be that great of a standard for television quality. I write a lot of my own scripts for my original cartoons, and even after a draft, I often have to have a friend revise it to make sure there's no grammatical errors, the pacing is good, stuff like that. So even though I am technically a writer, I would not be able to save a script all by myself. In terms of animation, I don't know if I'm up to that standard yet. I'm sure as time passes and the more I practice, I could get up to that standard. Aria Dudes Anthony also says, "If SpongeBob ended, would you revive it?" On the channel, no. I've had a few ideas of like, what if SpongeBob got rebooted? No, not that pick. That one's a joke. But personally, I don't want to animate a full SpongeBob reboot on the channel, especially since the main show's still running. And even with that said, I don't think I'd do it on the channel even if the show did end soon. Everything's getting rebooted, everything's getting remade, and personally, if I want to put years and months into a creation, I want to make something original, you know? How do you make a YouTube avatar? Just draw something. I know that's a pretty bare bones answer, but just draw a character that represents you. Or represents something you want to be. It doesn't even have to be a human like myself, it could be like an animal or a creature. Just draw, experiment. And once you feel like you have a good design, just draw a bunch of expressions for it, and if you're not proud of the results, that's okay. Designs evolve over time. Make a SpongeBob movie, but as a Pokemon trainer. No, I'm not happening. 1, I don't want to make a SpongeBob movie, and 2, I know nothing about Pokemon. Nick says, can you do Who Bought What Pants fan made? Also, before the video ends, I finally have some news. Well, not news, but more of an update. If you watched previous Sab Talks, you might know that right now I am working on the Cringe Binge Chronicles as my main project. Since I've been so silent about it, I just wanted to say, we're like, I don't know, 30% complete. So we still have a long ways away, but we're making some progress. So that was all the questions I've gotten through the last couple of days. As always, if you have any other questions and ideas, let me know in the comments. I love to hear what you have to say. And it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the 20th episode of Sab Talk. I know this was meant to be the video game edition of Sab Talk. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to cancel that because I don't really think what I have right now is worthy of a full-fledged video. So I've decided to make that one video game question first and just make it a regular Q&A. Also, stay until the very end, there is some news. So in a few Sab Talks ago, Amaze Games OF asked me if you could make a video game out of one of your series, which one? And which genre would it be? This is a general question, does not have to be in a vid or something, lol. For another random day, I'd either make it a 3D platformer or a 2D side-scroller to give like a full-on immersive experience. The plot for that one would just be mutant grasshoppers are invading Subnicon, and it's up to Sab and his friends to stop it. Gami and Marshy would be a simple 2D side-scroller plus puzzle game, where Gami and Marshy have like different abilities, maybe they're fighting like ice cream sandwich men. For You Got Game, anyone who's seen the short could probably see this coming, but just make Stairs a mobile app. Cringe Binge would probably be either a pick-your-own adventure game or one of those Grand Theft Auto type games. Pikavi says, make a gaming channel. I'm not against that idea, I just lack the equipment for it. However, if you want to see a very cringeworthy gameplay, check out my Obstacle Odyssey playthrough. Jeremy Kessler Bowersfield, the person responsible for all this wonderful music, says, hey Sab, I got a question for yes. Describe a little of the original and modern inspiration for upcoming and soon to come things you have talked about making in previous Sab Talks. I guess the first one I should talk about is the one I'm working on right now, Cringe Binge Chronicles. That whole show actually started off with just me and my good friend Hallie throwing a party for her birthday, and afterwards I just drew her a little portrait. I think what happened was Hallie on Snapchat was just like, who wants to see a Cringe Binge cartoon? Because her Twitter and Instagram handle is Cringe Binge. And I was just like, well, we can brainstorm, not sure if it'd go anywhere. And she just pitched an idea of like, how about a show dedicated to my life stories? Then after a while, we thought about what the cast would be. We know we want a roommate character, and we want a stoner alien. We ended up calling him Dabby because stoner jokes. Laurel was a toughie because we went through various different designs and various different names. For episode 5 of Another Random Day, Indoors,
This was actually something that Jeremy pitched to me, because one of the things we used to do when we were neighbors was just throw around a bunch of ideas for the show. And one of his ideas, since we were trying to think of more emotional episodes, was what if there's one where Sab was trapped in his room on a rainy day, and how that affects him psychologically. The original idea was gonna postpone it later, like very mid into the series, but after a while we decided to make it episode 5 because of the whole pandemic. At the time, we were all in quarantine, and even though things are opening up, we're still technically in quarantine, things are still shut down, and I thought it would be a good story to tell. I was gonna work on that for the major project until the Cringe Binge Chronicles happened. I was just like, what if we postpone another random day for something original? Something that you guys haven't seen before. And for Untouchable, hard to say. I think what happened was I was just looking through some of my extras and trying to think about, are there any characters in the background that I think would be worthy of fleshing out or would make an interesting solo story? And this particular design stuck out to me the most. I have no idea how I thought about the whole dodgeball thing. Even though it takes place in high school, a lot of it is inspired by a lot of my college stuff, because in college, I do my best to keep a steady grade so I can graduate. As a matter of fact, I'm kind of hard on myself in terms of it. For a while, I've been trying to get all A's, like straight A's, and when I got my first B, I was devastated. So I tried giving off sort of a similar thing. What if I tackled this issue that most students deal with of trying to pass a subject that you're not very good at? And in the case for the character Lilith in Untouchable, dodgeball, or PE in general. And the reason why I picked PE in particular is mostly because I've never been that good with PE, and I know a lot of artists and nerdy peeps out there aren't that good at PE either. So I know it's a pretty relatable story that I'm sure a lot of people can relate to. I don't know how much I cut out, but I'm sorry if that was a little lengthy. Gion's Life says, question, will you be doing more A or D episodes in Plotagon? Like with If Another Random Day was made in Plotagon, but for kids? I'm gonna be completely honest, I regret the first Plotagon video. There was no effort in it whatsoever. I literally just made a bunch of shit up on the spot.
Now to unleash my very powerful.
Just whatever popped into my head, whether it be like a commercial or a topical reference.
No, it's dead. You hungry? It's punch.
Awkward, uncomfortable jokes.
Oh fuck no man, you're doing all the work. Gladly daddy. What? I have a beard.
And due to the reception of the video, I think a lot of people agree. I was in the progress of a part 2, and I postponed it for a single year. And I feel like if I posted it now, a lot of the jokes would be very dated.
You can't say that. It's 2019. You'll have your balls castrated with a toothpick.
I am Thanos. I am here to become a main character.
We could be watching lasagna right now. Oh look, they leaked footage of the Sonic movie.
This will be dated soon.
And in terms of the for kids section, it wouldn't be for kids. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense for the first one to be very raunchy and offensive, while the second one is just for kids. I might experiment with the plot idea eventually, but I don't think it's gonna be a direct sequel. I think the first ARD and Plotagon video is better off being forgotten. Before the video ends, I have some very exciting news. The Cringe Binge Chronicles will get a teaser trailer soon. I'm just trying to settle a date for it. If you have any other questions, please comment below, and it's all sad from here. Before the video starts, I'd like to announce that I recently joined a collab with Scuff196, where we unbox these weird gummy Krabby Patty boxes. If you like SpongeBob, which most of my fans do, check this guy out. He's also an enthusiast just like me, and we might collab more in the future. Check it out, please. We had a lot of fun. We get paid for fun, right? Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to a very weird episode of Sab Talk. I don't have any news this week. week, and I don't have any questions this week since I did a live stream and I answered them there. So I thought to myself, what do I do for this? So what I ended up doing was talking to
Epic Pink 29,
and he asked me a bunch of weird questions. So that's what I'm gonna do. Let's get into this.
What would you do for Klondike Bar?
I'd make an OnlyFans account.
What's your favorite brand of sausage?
I don't know, but German sausage is the worst. Get it? It's funny because German.
Do you like Hearthstone?
The only thing I found on Google was this. Was this what you meant? If so, maybe.
Do you play piano?
I took lessons, but after a while I just said screw it and did all my music on FL Studios.
Have you ever fought a bear?
Yes, I have. Apparently banana splits make really good bait. This is a totally real story and not something I'm making up for the sake of comedy.
Have you ever invented the light bulb?
Yes, I have. I called it the Sab bulb. It's just a light bulb with Sab's face on it. It's really cool. It makes your lights look like Sab.
If a light blinks 3 times in 10 minutes, how many times does it not blink?
7?
I'm making a pizza for school and was wondering, how do I change a car tire?
Good luck with the pizza, and I don't know. I completely forgot what I learned in auto shop.
What's your last name in English?
Yes.
2 men walk into a bar, they take their shirts off and look at the 2 men that walk into the bar and helped their heads get better.
Wow, that's really hot. Thank you for the erotic poem. Oh boy, I sure hope I don't get interrupted by
Epic Pink 29.
No, this Sab Talk will be completely uninterrupted.
Oh, it's me again. Hi guys, it's Epic Pink 29, the Beastmaster Brit, and biggest fan of Sab Nino, that's for sure. Alright, so I have about, 9 questions brought to you by Sab himself, actually. And so the first question is, what is your signature dance move? Oh, that's a great question, Sab. Thank you for asking. My signature dance move goes a little something like this. The next question is, what is the sexiest name? Oh boy, the sexiest name. Oh, let's see. For a bro, it'd probably be something like Chase or Zach. Luke, maybe. Bruce. I like Bruce. Bruce, like Bruce Wayne, bro. For a brodette, I guess. Oh yeah, it's definitely okay. Yeah, it's got to be Sydney. Sydney is the sexiest name alive. Okay, next question is, what is the best Wi-Fi name? Metal.com. Next question is, which body part do you wish you can detach? I want to replace my nose with a can that has a spider in it, so if someone gets too close, bang! Right on the nose. Next question is, if air wasn't called air, what would you name it? Metal! The next question is, what is the best brand of waffle iron? Well, this one's easy. Hello Kitty, of course. She's a kitty that makes waffles. Who can say no to that? Sexiest Lego figure? I'd have to say Mega Bloks Halo.
Anyways, I hope you like this change of pace. Comment below if you have any other questions or ideas or whatever. And it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to probably the most anticipated episode of Sab Talk. I don't know why that is, but I'm assuming it's because I didn't answer any questions in the last one. But luckily this one's back to normal, so I'm not even gonna continue the intro. Let's just get started. Jornet says, is Epic Pink single? I don't know. It's none of my business. The Sab bulb is so funny. Sab, how often do you watch cartoons? Do you keep up with current cartoons? I don't just watch cartoons, I
live off of cartoons. I keep up with quite a bit of current cartoons. I think the last current ones off the top of my head are Looney Tunes cartoons and Close Enough. Two shows you should definitely check out. Gion's Life says, why are you so obsessed with SpongeBob? I'm not obsessed. Okay, I'm somewhat obsessed. Well, ever since the first movie came out, I had like a huge SpongeBob kick. Since I've seen every episode, and I used to have a ton of merch, almost to the point where I couldn't keep my room clean. And ever since then, even though I branched out since my childhood years, SpongeBob's just one of those shows that just stuck with me. It never left. I still watch episodes when they came out, and for whatever reason I just never lost interest in it, because the show itself keeps on changing in new and experimental ways. It succeeds in fascinating ways, it fails in interesting ways, and honestly I'm just curious on what the future holds, especially with the whole spin-off stuff. What is the end credit music for ARD episodes 1 and 2? I'm assuming you're talking about the original releases and not the remasters. For the original releases, it's a Hellbender song called Pixel F***. I am so sorry for saying such a name. Sadly, I have no control over that. And for the remasters and episodes going forward, it's actually a song by TMH, and I believe it was called End Credit Theme by a Side Character, which is on the ARD soundtrack. Who is Epic Pink? He's just some weird radical dude who occasionally hacks my channel. What do you think of my ARD summer camp spin-off? I'm gonna read the previous post he sent for context. Sab, I have an idea on how the ARD crew met, and it's kind of the same with Camp Coral, except not Sleepaway Camp. There was also this time I thought where there was a BYOI, Build Your Own Invention contest, and that's when I thought that's how Sab created Nameless. Any thoughts on the idea? Also, here's some concept art that he made. Honestly, this idea sounds very cute, and I definitely think the Nameless origin is a pretty good idea. Unfortunately, I wouldn't really consider this as canon, especially with Jasmine and Ender being in it, but don't let that stop you from creating this idea. I still want to see it if you're planning on making this a passion project or a fan fiction or whatever. Not to mention, I already thought of an origin story on how the characters met, but unfortunately I can't reveal that right now due to spoiler reasons. And yes, it does contain a younger Sab and an origin story of how Nameless was created. But as I said earlier, don't let my vision affect what you want to create. I still think it's a really cute idea, and I think you should go with it. Scuff196 says, thank you so much for the shout out. LOL! Sab Bulb! Sab, did you always keep up with SpongeBob? Or did you not watch new episodes at times? I really fell off during season 6 to 9. Even as a kid, I'd rarely be aware of new episodes, but I'd just be watching whatever was airing a lot, lol. Just like I said with Gion's Life question, there was never a point where I dropped out of the show. I've seen every single episode known to personkind outside of the quarantine crab. So that means I've watched a lot of season 6 and 9. Unfortunately, I think that's where the show kind of downfalls. But that doesn't mean all of it is bad. There's still some great episodes that I'd be happy to share with you guys. But I definitely think the newer seasons are a step up compared to that. Well, those are all the questions I have for this Sab Talk. Thank you so much for your patience. If you have any other questions, please comment below. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to do a similar thing to episode 21 if I don't have any news. So with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here, and welcome to Sab Spooky Stories. If you're wondering what my costume is, I'm a guy with glasses and a flannel. Sure, let's go with that. A few of you have commented stuff, so let's cover those first, and then I might cover some of the comments I've missed in previous Sab Talks.
So let's get into it. Gami the Boy says, Gami and Marshy Part 2. In a couple Sab Talks ago, I actually talked about a potential of a Gami and Marshy sequel.
We have a sequel idea that the VA for Gami pitched. I also have a Christmas special idea, but we'll keep you posted on that.
We had two ideas. One involving an ice cream invasion, where ice cream people invade the candy world and it's up to Gami and Marshy and the purple fish lady to save it. Or a Christmas special, where Gami has a hard time dealing with the holidays. However, to keep with the Halloween theme, I thought about doing a Gami and Marshy Halloween episode, since Halloween is about candy and this is a show about candy, so win-win. But the only thing I can give about that is concept art, because we don't have a plot for it. Joshua Hunter Jr. says, how about one of those parodies of films like Ghostbusters? I never really thought of a Ghostbusters parody, but we have done sort of a spooky parody sort of thing in one of our scripts. There is a specific parody me and the Another Random Day crew has always wanted to do, and that's a Scooby-Doo parody. The classic Scooby-Doo. A lot of the characters in Another Random Day could fit those molds. Sab could be Scabby-Doo, and there's a lot of debate on like whoever the rest is. But if I were taking charge, Caden would be Shaggy, Britt would be Daphne, Jasmine would be Velma, and Brandon would be Fred. I don't know, maybe his name was Scrappy. But in terms of a Ghostbusters thing, maybe one of the characters has to prove that ghosts exist, so Sab that makes an invention that creates ghosts, and they realize, oh no, ghosts are real, they're gonna haunt us, let's bust them, and then Sab makes inventions, that those sucky machines, and then they just suck off ghosts. I should have used a better choice of words. Gion's Life says, the 420th video. Haven't thought about it, but probably something weed related. Maybe Cringe Binge related, because that has some drug references. Eva Trend says, read We Deleted You Creepypasta. This is Sab's Spooky Stories, and this is the only time the spooky story parts actually comes into play. So, sure, let's read it. I got a Wii on my 7th birthday, on November 28th, 2006, about 9 days after the Wii was released. I still remember the moment when my dad gave me the present, and then I quickly ripped it open. Wow, a Wii! Thanks, Dad, I said in happiness. After that, I begged my dad to help set it up. When he was done, he finally helped me set up the Wii in the living room. What surprised me about the Wii is the controller. It reminded me more of a TV remote. After my dad set it up, he let me play. I was going to play Wii Sports, but something caught my eye. The Me channel. So I opened that up instead. But when I got to the Me channel, there was a single Me. I clicked on him, and I found that the Me's name was Etelid. The name Etelid didn't make sense to me until I looked real closely at the letter. Then I found out that it was delete backwards. I took a good look at Etelid. He was bald. He had a big smiling mouth, giant eyes, and a small nose. He started to creep me out, so I deleted him. Then I started to make a me version of Me. So I clicked the button to make a new me, and named my me Kyle. But when I got back to the Me Plaza area, Etelid was back, with the same creepy look. So I deleted him with the first chance I got. I was a little creeped out, but then I decided to forget all about it when I play Wii Sports. I like Wii Sports. It was a compilation of 5 sports: tennis, baseball, bowling, golf, and boxing. I decided to play bowling because that was my favorite sport. My me was in a bowling alley with the other me's, and sometimes I saw a me in the lane next to mine do their throw, and I did see it. My me got a strike and turned around to celebrate, but my me's face looked extremely like Etelid's, so I assumed it was him. So I quit Wii Sports and went back to the Me channel. Before I deleted Etelid, the dialogue box appeared saying, "Why are you trying to delete me?" I started to get creeped out as I spoke out. What do you mean? I don't think he would hear me, but strangely he did. Oh, you know what I mean. It said, I just don't want you on my Me channel. I'm sorry. And the words changed again.
Oh, really? Me's have feelings too, you know. How would you feel if I deleted you?
It said, and that's what I realized. I was talking to Etelid. The dialogue box disappeared, and it revealed the scariest picture I ever seen. It was a picture of Etelid's face with the same creepy features, but more gruesome. His eyes were replaced with gaping holes of blood pouring down. I was so scared. I clicked the home button and ran to my dad. He was on the phone, and I waited for him to finish. Dad, there's something wrong with the Wii, I said with a scared voice. I led my dad to the living room, and I turned off the home menu, and suddenly it looked normal. My dad said I was probably playing too much, and I should take a break. So I did. I pressed the home button again, and took a 15-minute break. But when I went back to the cat and turned off the home menu, the dialogue box appeared saying, "Goodbye, Kyle." And then the Me channel automatically turned off and went back to the home menu. I tried to go back to the Me channel, but every time I did, a dialogue box appeared saying, "We deleted you." And it took me back to the Wii menu. I soon realized that Etelid somehow deleted me in a way that I couldn't make any more Miis. So that meant, no matter what game I played, I always have to play Etelid, and never tried to delete him.
Well, that was different. Notorious JKB says, "So there I was, at the bottom of a lake. 3 sea monsters surrounding me, and a rabid werewolf in the car with me. And my phone was at 5% battery. What would you do in that situation?" Realistically, I'd die. So to fill out this video, since it's near the end of October and I want to get this special out, but I also want to fill in the time, I'm going to be talking about some previous questions from previous Sab Talks. So I'm sorry it took so long, but now your questions are going to get answered. Let's get into it. Aaron Lovin says, "If someone gave you infinite money to use exclusively on the shows you're currently working on, how would you spend it? No loopholes, lol." I think the real question is, what wouldn't I do with it? First and foremost, I would hire more animators and pay the artists and voice people, writers, etc., the people who are working for me now. I would give them a paycheck, since they've worked so hard. I'd also expand the writing team, but I'd still have heavy involvement, and since I'd have more animators, I'd try to pump out a lot more content as I can. Therefore, when I want to work on one project, none of my other projects have to halt. So that means I could work on another random day, and Cringe Binge, and maybe a Got Game, Got Me and Marshy, maybe some Gib. All the ideas I've had can hopefully be pumped out a lot faster due to this assembly line, and therefore the rapid pace of my ideas can actually come to fruition in a faster pace. I'd also try other things, like maybe 22-minute specials. Maybe I'd go to Budsy and sell a bunch of marketable plushies of my characters. I know a lot of people wanted that Sab plush I got. Maybe movies. Video games, perhaps? Maybe get like a development team for those? Long story short, there is a lot I'd do with that money. Devin TR says, "I have an interesting question. If you were to remake or remaster ARD Episode 1 and 2, would you change it, or would you not have any changes?" Honestly, there's a lot I'd change about Episodes 1 and 2. I think the first change would be, I'd make Episode 1 a lot less random, and actually do a better job introducing the characters. But hey, people still understood the characters well, so that's good at least. For Episode 2, I'd probably make Sab and Jasmine's relationship not seem so forced, and maybe flesh out Jasmine's ex a little bit more, even though there's a lot of things that I'd change about Episodes 1 and 2 if I was writing it now. If I were to remaster Episodes 1 and 2, I honestly wouldn't change anything. Mainly because I don't like rewriting history. And since I've made it this far with the timeline that already established and that newer episodes can call back to that one, the only thing I'd really change is the animation. I really wish that I was able to remaster episodes 1 and 2 visually, especially episode 2 with that weird aspect ratio. The issue with that is, with episodes 1 and 2, I didn't think to save any of my Adobe files, so unfortunately I don't have the rawest form of these episodes. So unfortunately, the recent compilation, Another Random Day, episode 1 to 4, is the highest quality I can get of these episodes. I'm sorry. The only thing we can do is just move forward and try to aim for higher quality, which I think we're doing. Notorious JKB says, Sor gorgiamus allos subjectos nunc. I believe in rice and beans. Me no habla español, but I believe in rice and beans too. Yvonne Trend says, watch Pokemon. Get into Pokemon. I hate to be that guy, but egging me on to get into Pokemon only makes me want to get into it less. Look, I'm sure it's a good game, but it's just never been something that interests me. I'm sorry. 2 more SpongeBob theme songs. It's always special when you do them. It's flashbacks of the Sonic movie. Play Megalovania. I think that's all the questions I had in Ask Sab 22. Again, I'm sorry it took this long to get back from hiatus. I'm hoping to get back relatively soon. I'm kind of in a bumpy transition period, so I'll keep you guys posted in the community tab. But if you have any other questions for me, comment below. And it's all spooky from—
Hello, you worthless freaks! Sab Nino here, and you're all doomed!
Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to another Sab Talk.
24.
I'm sorry that I'm going on and off on this series for a little bit. I'm hoping to make a proper return. For once, we have some news, and one of them is SpongeBob related, don't worry. But we'll take care of the questions first to add suspense. Let's get started. Aiden Train Dude 21 says, can you make a SpongeBob theme song Halloween animation? I already answered this through the comments section, but I thought it'd be interesting to point out here. Unless I'm really desperate to find something to animate, that probably won't happen, mainly due to all the new assets I'd have to animate for it. Because unlike the other variants, there is a lot to recreate with the Halloween opening. Like the skeleton, SpongeBob falling, Squidward transformation. So for right now, I'm just gonna say that's not gonna happen. However, by the time I'm recording this, the Christmas opening should be out, even though it's not Christmas. Look, this year sucks. We need some holiday cheer. Cameron James Music and Photography YouTube says, do you have a TikTok page? I'm a newcomer to TikTok, but yeah, I do have a TikTok page. There's not a lot on it so far, so if you have any recommendations on what to do there, just comment below and I might do it. Do you play Among Us? I don't own Among Us, and for whatever reason my multiplayer doesn't work, so I have no friends to play Among Us. But I'm not against playing it. It does sound like a lot of fun, and the art style is very simplistic and charming. Also, this isn't really much of a question as it is just kind of a criticism of last Sab Talk. Some people have pointed out that what Notorious JKB in last Sab Talk was not Spanish, but was Puerto Rican. So I'm sorry to all the Puerto Ricans that I have offended. I'm just a dumb American. Yeah, it's a slow questions week, but I understand. It's been a long hiatus. Anyway, here's some news. The Cringe Binge Chronicles is still almost done. We are currently animating the ending and some practical effects. So far, things are going great, and as of right now, the first trailer has been getting a lot of great positive reception. Speaking of trailer, we are hoping to release another possibly final trailer. There's no deadline set, but after Thanksgiving. And with that trailer, we're hoping to have a merch store. We are gonna have some Cringe Binge Chronicle prints on Redbubble. If you want to check those out, please do. We'll provide masks through these trying times. And to end this crazy Cringe Binge train, there are plans for a second episode. after the first one is produced. The plot is still up in the air. I have a few scripts written for a potential continuation, but I still need to talk to Hallie about what exactly we should do for it, because usually I turn to her for any big decisions regarding the show. We'll keep you posted on that, but one thing I will guarantee is that the characters will get a slight revamp in designs. So I hope you guys are looking forward to more Cringe Binge Chronicles. And lastly, I don't know when this will be coming out. You guys know of the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run, right? Of course you do, but I know that doesn't mean all of you have seen it. I'm making a big video dedicated to my thoughts on the SpongeBob movie, Sponge on the Run. We are doing like a little podcast with two of my buddies, Drew and Scuff, who are regular commenters on Sab Talk and all my other videos, and are collaborators of some of my projects. We all watched the movie together, and immediately after we watched the movie, we recorded the video, and currently we're editing it. So if you want to see three geeks ramble about the lore and cinematic universe of a cartoon sponge, here you go. Okay, that was Sab Talk. If you have any more questions, comment below. And as always, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to Sab Talk. Wanna know what's funnier than 24?
25.
So, it seems like Sab Talk should be returning to the weekly schedule. Before we get into the question, please go check out our Sponge on the Run review. I collabed with good YouTubers and friends, Drew and Scuff. It's a lot of fun. We had a great time editing it. Please go check it out. On with the questions. Drew Arnett says, great vid. What color are your Joy-Con? They used to be the classic red and blue. Nowadays, they're pink and green. And I love it. It's a nice aesthetic. Fave food? Anything that's sweet and bad for you. Aaron Lovin says, what's your schedule like? I'm pretty bad at planning things out. What I try to do is I just put school first, then my animations. Whenever I make a video, I try scheduling those. Every now and again, I try making plans with my other friends. I need social interaction and stuff. Aiden Trains Dude 21 says, here's a good question. What app on your PC would you use for animation? For example, SpongeBob? I use Adobe Animate a lot. Sometimes I use Photoshop to storyboard, but lately I've been transitioning to using Animate for that to make things a lot faster. I also use Photoshop for backgrounds, Blender for anything 3D, and for the compositing I use Sony Vegas, and to record I use Audacity. Though lately, through college, I've been trying to learn some other softwares. I know a little bit of Toon Boom. I've done a few animations on that, but I don't think I know enough to make a complete jump to Toon Boom. Depending on how things work out, that's what I strive for. Also, recently been learning After Effects. Since I released a Christmas opening, I got a lot of requests for that, so let's go on to those. Gion's Life says, do a Thanksgiving SpongeBob intro. Doesn't exist, so I'm not gonna do it. I thought that was all I needed to say, until I realized how highly requested the Thanksgiving opening was. I hate to disappoint all of you, but don't find any point of doing a Thanksgiving opening. I don't really know how I'd really do it. Do I just put SpongeBob in a Thanksgiving hat? Do I include the Macy's balloon? I don't know what I do, especially since there's no Thanksgiving episode, so I have nothing to work off of. I'm not doing a Thanksgiving opening, especially since it's almost Thanksgiving. It's pretty much too late. Raquel McCormick says, do you like SpongeBob? Believe it or not, I don't. I hate SpongeBob with a fiery passion of 1,000 suns. I've only seen every single episode ironically. I hate his voice, I hate his character, I hate the animation, I hate the theme song, I hate everything about this little yellow That was all sarcasm. Objective Fun says, can you reanimate Don't Be a Jerk SpongeBob song? Unfortunately, that's not gonna happen because
Copyright. Sonic the Hedgehog says, do who bob what pants? I gave a non-answer the last time, but I'll just give an answer here. Theoretically, that would be pretty easy to do. The downside is the audio. It's really hard playing the whole thing without copyright, and I don't know how you guys would feel if I had the Mr. Krabs AI dub the entire thing. Would you guys want Mr. Krabs AI to dub over the entire thing? If so, comment below, because if you guys are okay with it, I might be able to do it. Gaming of Legend Classic says, I want a Who Bob What Pants theme song, but the music hit SpongeBob SquarePants Slide. Going forward, I am not going to include Hit SpongeBob SquarePants Slide or the traditional opening altogether due to copyright. Cameron James Music and Photography YouTube says, please do SpongeBob singing his own theme song. Do you want me to use the SpongeBob AI? Because I can do that. I can't find the SpongeBob movie. What did you watch it on? I got together an entire watch party with Scuff and Drew, and Scuff provided a VPN and we watched it on Netflix. Do a Battle for BFB intro. At first I read that as Battle for Bikini Bottom. I wouldn't be against that, just need to find some rehydrated models. Is there an intro for BFB? Or are you wanting me to do like the SpongeBob intro Bubba's BFB characters? For now, I don't think I'm going to do that, mainly because I'm just not that interested in BFB. Is this not my cup of tea? Marcus Pendleton says, make Ty full episode remastered. I'm not gonna do that for multiple reasons. One, I don't know what episode you want me to reanimate. Two, not only could that get a copyright claim, but a full-on block. And three, I don't have the time to reanimate an entire episode. Though, if remastered collabs are your bread and butter, I would recommend the Band Geeks Reanimated collab. I am also a part of the Pizza Delivery Reanimated and SpongeBob Movie Rehydrated. There's also so many other SpongeBob Reanimated collabs that I'm not even a part of. Chances are, if there's an episode you really like, there's probably a reanimated version of that. Todor Rozanov says, could you give us a link to the SpongeBob model? I have been asked this so many times, so I think I should just say something here. I will not give away my SpongeBob model for a couple reasons. One, even though it doesn't seem that way, the model is still very flawed and rigging issues are through the roof. Second, I hold these models near and dear to me, and personally I feel like they'd be less special if everyone else used them. Especially given the fact that there's a lot of people out there who just don't credit models. I don't want to risk it. I'm sorry I'm not giving away the model. I just love it too much. If you have any other questions, please comment below. And it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to another Sab Talk. Let's get started. MPAC says, what's episode 1 of the Cringe Binge Chronicles gonna be about? Watch the trailer. That should give you everything that you need to know. Notorious JKB says, Sab, can you possibly do a tutorial thing like basic animation and storyboarding? Or talk about how you make your own SpongeBob rigs? Or if not, give some insight how the process can be developed in a future video. I always wanted to do a tutorial video. It's just a matter of trying to figure out how to do it. So I don't know, maybe I'll create an outline for it to figure out what I want to teach and maybe make a little series on it. If you guys want something like that, please comment below. I might give it a shot, because it sounds like fun. No guarantees it'll be any good though. SpongeBob Master says, make a Mr. Krabs Steven Universe opening. Do you want me to make one where the Krabs AI just dubs the Steven Universe opening? Should I animate it with a bunch of Mr. Krabs on screen? Because that might be possible. Because I have a Mr. Krabs model in the works.
SpongeBob, me Bob, an unfinished model, and we'll own your dreams.
Can you make a song for the ending of B. Squidward movie about how fun terrific is in New York City? What? Raquel McCormick says, please make more Sab Talk. Sab Talk is canceled. Sorry.
Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the Christmas edition of Sab Talk. How is it Christmas? There's a snowy background. I'm sorry, I really tried thinking of something Christmas related. When I started recording this video, it was kind of too late to plan something massive like Sab Spooky Stories. But I'll try to make it as Christmassy as I can. Now let's answer some holly jolly questions. Ethan My Man Wonner / E-Train Boy says, can you please make a textless version of the Christmas intro? Happy holidays, smiley face, #SabTalk. Oh, do I have news for you. Check out my channel Friday. You're getting exactly what you asked for. Amaze Game says, are there any other Steven Universe / SpongeBob characters in the works? Cause Garnet Crabs is a masterpiece. I actually didn't create Garnet Crabs. I found it on Google Images. I tried finding the original source for the image, but unfortunately I wasn't able to find anything. So if anyone's able to find anything on Garnet Crabs and who the original artist of that piece is, please comment below, cause if so, I definitely want to credit them. Aiden Trains Dude 21 says, can you do a Squidward, Patrick, and Mr. Krabs intro theme song? Honestly, I already animated the original opening around a year. I really don't want to animate that many new assets for an opening. Enzo 2020 San Millen says, Sab, I want SpongeBob Sir Pello theme song, please. If I come up with something, I might, cause I love Sir Pello.
Are you looking at this?
Impact says, opinion on the Animaniacs reboot. I just reached season 2 of the original Animaniacs. I am loving the original show so far, and I love the reboot. If you're a fan of Animaniacs, please go check it out. Drew Ornette says, Mario or Luigi? Magic Koopa. Okay, now that that's out of the way, I have some news. The Cringe Binge Chronicles is almost done. We are about to wrap up animation, though we still have a little bit of ways for the audio mixing, but expect some sort of release date soon. Also, not only do we have a plot synopsis of episode 2 of Cringe Binge, but we have one for a potential episode 3. The only thing I can say about Cringe Binge episode 2 is that it's Cringy's birthday. That's all we thought of right now. And for episode 3, it's kind of in a tricky spot right now. The working title for it is A Cringe Binge Miracle, and it's a holiday special. As of the time of me recording this, I think we all agreed that we want to make it a musical. I don't know if this could actually happen. I'm gonna try though. I'm gonna try to work on that special simultaneously with episode 2. I'll explain why. With episode 2, I'm just gonna animate it like a typical episode. Sort of like the pilot, just with updated designs. With A Cringe Binge Miracle, we're gonna do something stylistically different. You guys know how in my entry for the SpongeBob movie Rehydrated, my scene uses stylized CGI with a lot of model breaking and squash and stretch and stuff like that. That's sort of something that we're gonna try to do for this holiday special. Though we're not just taking the 2D designs and making them 3-dimensional. We're doing something visually not only with the medium, but with the art style as well. Since stop motion is very expensive, I thought CGI would be a good workaround to kind of capture that stop motion feel, and maybe go even above that. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to show right now, but one thing I believe we agreed on is that Drew Ornette, who storyboarded the pilot, shall be the main art director for A Cringe Binge Miracle, because I thought his style would fit perfectly for that sort of stop motion-esque feel. Also, if you guys haven't already, check out the Cringe Binge trailer, and check out our merch store, because I want to be filthy rich this holiday. Get yourself a freaking mask. And if you guys have any more questions, please comment below. It's all jolly from here, and Chumpta Claus loves you.